Mr. Loosley, and I have 2 minutes to tell you about the 1980s before the 80s themed dance on Friday. The first thing you should know is that it was all about youth and youth popular culture. The second thing is that it happened between 1984 and 1991. And the third thing is that the 80s are in your garage, in a shoebox that your parents saved. I'll tell you what I mean. Starting in the 1920s, you could listen to recorded music whenever you wanted to on the radio. By the 1930s, everyone had one in their home. The only problem with the radio was you couldn't choose what you listened to. You had to listen to whatever was being broadcast at the time. But starting in the 1950s, long-playing records made it possible for you to hear whatever you wanted, whenever you wanted. By going to the record store, you could buy albums by your favorite artists and then take them home and listen to them. And records sounded really great. They sound better than CDs, and they sound a lot better than MP3s. The only problem was you could only listen to them in your home. They weren't very portable. But the cassette tape, which came out in the 1980s, solved that portability problem. You could take them anywhere. You could listen to them on headphones or in the car. You could take them to the beach, or you could just walk down the street with a boombox on your shoulder and let everybody hear your awesome music. The only problem with cassettes was they sounded terrible and they broke really easily, so you could lose the money you spent on them. The solution was the CD. CDs were small, so you could take them anywhere. They were also very hard to break, and the quality was really good. The interesting thing about all this is cassettes were really only popular in the 1980s. Check out this graph. Where the first two lines cross, that's where cassette sales passed record sales in 1984. And where the second two lines cross, that's where CD sales passed cassette sales. Guess when? 1991. So all that great music we talked about yesterday from the 1980s, people listened to it all on cassette tapes. Here's a picture of me when I was 12. I'm dancing happily to a cassette tape by Paula Abdul. Next, here's a picture of me when I was 13. I'm standing moodily with a CD by Nirvana. And that's the reason why the 80s are in a shoebox in your garage. When your parents started buying CDs, they took all their cassettes, they put them in the shoebox, and they put the shoebox in the garage. The shoebox is still there, and if you want, you can ask for it and listen to those cassettes to get ready for the dance on Friday.
Hey, Dad, do you have any old cassettes from the 1980s?
You bet, son. They're right here in this old shoebox.
Gee, thanks, Dad.
That's more than 2 minutes. 80s Dance on Friday. Be there.